Hello everybody and welcome back to Spiritual Successor, a comedy video game design podcast where we take your lovely, horrible, cursed video game titles from all over the internet and turn those into the next AAA titles. I am one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I am your other host, Blake Rhea. Welcome to the show. AJ,
Blake,
how the hell are you?
I'm back in it. I dove back in. I'm back in space. I'm crawling around in Destiny. I'm jumping and shooting and jumping and... honestly, just being really horribly reminded that game is kind of an MMO and there's like so many things. And like, I'm trying to avoid all of it because I'm just like, well, I never finished the DLC. So I'm just going to kind of keep my head low and play the DLC and just kind of run through it as the looter shooter that it is.
That is the best way to play the game. In my experience, and my experience of Destiny is not as high as yours, but there was one season where I was fucking on top of it, where I was like doing firefights every day, doing all of the dailies, doing all that stuff, and my light level was like I was second highest in our group for like that one season. It was Andrew above me because Andrew's a fucking grindhouse, and I have no idea how he's able to stay pro level in all of the games that he plays. The amount of work
he's built different.
He is built different, and I wish I had just a sliver of that muscle, man. Because it was painful. He's got that
dog in him. That's a new phrase I picked up from TikTok recently. He's got that dog in him.
Got that dog in him. All right.
You don't like that one?
No, not my favorite. Not my favorite.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite little phrase that you've picked up from TikTok?
From TikTok, I don't use TikTok. I will be honest. I for my own mental health and my own sanity, I kind of just use Instagram and Twitter. And I think that's enough for me on social media.
That's more than enough, truly.
Which is kind of ironic because I have to help make TikToks at my work. And I'm like, yeah, I totally use TikTok. I totally have used it for my branded platform of Spiritual Successor.
Well, that's what you do for work. You lie. You lie you lie to jobs and employers.
Straight up lied to my office, to my coworker. And I was very drunk one day, and I ended up telling coworkers, like, yeah, I don't know shit about TikTok. And they were like, man, don't worry, we won't tell. So what's got you back into Destiny? Is it just that hunger, that space?
I'm bored in between games. I'm just about finished with Neon White, but like Neon White's at a point where like I don't want to do any of the visual novel stuff because I don't really care about the visual novel of that game at all. But I like the running and the shooting and the speed running. I like that very much. The game feels incredible.
Yeah.
I just don't care about the talking.
Is it just one of those situations where Rule of Cool, where they kind of just got lost in how cool their concept was, that they didn't really think of anything to be the bones of it?
I don't know what it is. I think a part of it is the fact that I was kind of bummed that like the most interesting side character died pretty early on.
Yeah, your bro that. Oh wait, no, that's a spoiler. I can't say that. Censor me.
Your spoiler. One of the four members is like really interesting, but dies pretty early on in the game, and I was really bummed about that because I was hoping they were going to do something with that character.
Well, I mean, at least you got a fun little
because
game.
The other characters are like hot girl and cute girl with big boobs.
I'm sorry,
it's like,
both of them
I'm
are
sorry,
hot.
I don't really care about that much.
Which one do you describe as hot girl? Because this is very important to me.
The red one is the hot one, and the purple one is the cute one with big boobs.
All right, the red-haired lady, because she's fox and she's mean. She's fun. All right, you've chosen wisely.
They're both mean. It's just that the red one's mean in a hot way, and the purple one's mean in like a weird anime
in an antisocial
way.
In like she has demons that she needs to deal with kind of way.
She's weird in like an anime girl needs to go to therapy way, and the red one is hot and mean to me and has a scene where she talks about how much she loves the minions. So like,
all right. She's got personality. She talks about something other than
It's a much better character.
Yeah. Dude, I should get back into Destiny. I've been wanting...
You should get back into the Minions, actually. Blake, did you watch Minions Rise of Gru?
Fuck
Or are you behind?
No, I don't want to watch... I don't care for the
let me
minions.
just get this straight. We're running a video game podcast, and you're not up to date with the culture of minions and the cultural
TikTok.
icon that is, or TikTok, or video games. So,
fuck you! I have been playing so many video games. They have just been very solitary adventures. I beat Subnautica. I don't know if I talked about it on the show last week.
You talked about that last week.
Okay, thank you. My brain is mush and time is an illusion. I beat Subnautica. I'm playing Cult of the Lamb right now, which is a new Devolver Digital game.
Tell me about Cult of the Lamb.
It is exactly... Okay. I'm going to say this... I'm going to try and say this as humbly as I fucking can. If you, dear listener, like the games that Spiritual Suck develops that aren't like, the sucky ones that are like the ones that aren't like truly trying to be malicious and garbage, this is a game you will enjoy. Because it is two games in one. It is a cult management simulator, which is very much like you have your town, you have your resources, you have like your relationships with people, and then it's a dungeon crawler roguelite. So it's like a cult version of Moonlighter. And the reason I say if you like Spiritual Successor stuff is because like a lot of the games that AJ and I are influenced by and like to design our games like are the ones that have dual function or dual gameplay mechanics. And I really like it for that. Also, it's really cute. It's really fucking brutal and awesome and metal as shit. Has probably, I told you this, AJ, but I can tell the audience, it has probably one of my favorite names for like a Cthulhu monster like ever. And there's so the game is, or the lore is that you were a sacrificial lamb, and you were given life again by this new god in town called the One Who Waits. And I think that's like the most fucking metal name for like some devil or afterlife entity that I could ever think of. It's just so simple but so malicious, which is exactly how this game is. It looks simple, it looks cute, but it's malicious as hell.
So what does the town management in that game look like?
Town management? I'm still very early on, so I don't know that the deep mechanics of it, but you do kind of... depending on how you go about your cult and develop your religion could be centered around different things. So your religion could be like, hey, we communing with our god involves giving me money, and everybody that is in your cult will give you money, and that makes developing your town in one way different than, hey, I'm going to develop my cult to be way more pious. That means I get more ritual like energy or ritual currency, but they're going to be more preoccupied with that. It's weird. Like there's a bunch of different routes to play this game, which is cool to see because like the roguelike element of it is like anything's possible. So the town management thing should also be like anything's possible. It's very weird. It's a game I don't know if I'm going to finish because I'm really bad with roguelites. I didn't finish Moonlighter because it just requires so much grind time. Mm-hmm. But I have kind of a good feeling that I'm going to finish this one because...
That's interesting. I truly feel that Moonlighter was one of the shortest roguelikes I ever played.
Really? I couldn't commit.
Yeah, once I unlocked how that game worked, I really feel like I burned through the last couple dungeons pretty fast.
See, but that's how you and I differ, I think you click into games in a much different way than I do. There are just some games I mentally can't click into, like fighting games, for an example. You look at that
I've never been able to click into a fighting game.
Bullshit! Fuck you! No, that's bullshit.
No, I can just because I understand simple combos faster than you. Like you could put me in a room with any other fighting game player, and I would get my shit.
Okay, let me give you another example. I think when it comes to competitive games, as you can see, like when you and I are doing like Let's Plays for the SUCC channel, and there's like sections that involve some sort of competitive element, I see the clockwork ticking in your brain of like, oh, this triggers this, then this goes that, and bam, that's my strategy. And that I don't click into games in the same way you do. I think I lean more into games about like atmosphere. Like I like just existing in a space and
you are much better about getting sucked into a space than I am.
Yeah, just sitting with lore and just being so enveloped in it. But as you were saying, sorry, I cut you off.
No, I mean, you had it about right. Like if I'm left in a video game space for too long, I'm pretty quickly get bored and want to move on. I'm totally aware of that about me.
Why is that? What do you think triggered that?
Next thing. I'm like a little man eating potato chips. I just need the next big crunch.
God, I bet you're addicted to TikTok. See, that's why I don't go on TikTok. I know it's like doom scroll, bro.
Blake, do you want to talk about more video games, or do you want to talk about fake video game ideas that we could create generated off of our audience? Why are there so many bugs in my room now?
Because it's summer. Because it's the fucking season of gross bugs that come out to play. I have been slowly accruing a cast and cadre of bugs in my room, and I am not happy about it. I saw a roach, and I'm like, what the fuck? I keep my room clean as hell. What are you doing in here? And I think they were just like, it's the weather, it's the season, which is a bum.
They wanted to not be turned into little cockroach potato chips outside.
You know what? This week, they will be our audience for some shitty games. Do you want to give the first one, or do you want me to give the first one?
Yeah, I'll give the first one. This comes from Shepard. Temporarily free at Dat Sketcher.
Hey.
Ultimate productivity gamified app. Also, your boss can connect to it so they can keep track of your productivity.
No, I was at work today and I was so worried. Okay, can I share something with you that, God, I hope my bosses don't listen to. Fuck, actually, maybe one of them does. God, I don't know.
Ooh, this spicy. Here's what you do. Just say it was for a different job. You could give the story. Okay. Just say it was definitely for a different job.
Okay.
Also, here, I can cover you with this. Parody, fair use. Now your boss cannot legally take this against you because now we've blended the line. Where's the comedy? Where's the performance?
You're right.
Where's reality?
So for
much like all of the stand-up comedians on Netflix, we are protected by the simple phrase, "It's a joke, bro."
Jesus, I don't want to be cast in the same lot as the people that say that, but
Blake's boss, if you're listening and he incriminates himself, it was just a joke and it wasn't real.
Jesus Christ, my boss, he's too fragile, he's too sensitive. What the fuck is it with this generation?
What? Now you can't admit when you steal $300 worth of product from your company, huh? Wow, what a bunch of snowflakes. Now I'm going to get in trouble when I tell my boss that, like, oh yeah, I'm at home working, and then he catches me at a concert 2 hours later, definitely at work time, at a music festival.
When he catches me live streaming Warhammer when I'm supposed to be at my house working. No, okay, so at a previous job I was a different man. This was many years ago. My greatest fear was that when I was dicking around on my computer, like my bosses would have like this login that I couldn't see to where they can just see whatever was on my screen. And that's something I can't shake that feeling. Like I feel like it sounds like one of those things that's immoral and like you can't do that, but like I don't know.
They do that. There are companies that have done that since people have started working from remote home. Like you log into a thing that lets them see your screen.
No, that's a thing? Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
There are less intrusive ones. I know that there are ones that like track activity. So like people will like duct tape their mouse to a rotary fan. That way their mouse is constantly moving. That way their boss is like, oh yeah, their mouse is moving. They're definitely working.
That's fucked up. But what if you have to do like hand notes? Like, what do you have to do, like, calculations or go have a meeting with somebody and you're not at your computer?
Are you proposing somehow that the idea that a constantly working mindset is not conducive to a healthy lifestyle, Blake?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I also like that for a game title, by the way, not conducive. It just sounds very sciencey. So, for our game, are we playing the role of the employee trying to not get caught, or are we playing the employer, the overlord employer trying to catch all of the people in this company as the company grows bigger and bigger.
We are doing neither of those, my dear friend.
What? Okay. What are you thinking?
Do you remember in college when I had that app Habitica because I was a college late teen, early 20s?
This is exactly what I was thinking
of a man
about.
that needed an app with a little dude in it that would lose health points if I forgot to brush my teeth or forgot to do my chores or my stretches.
You can buy new armor if you successfully complete a quest. I remember I had it too because I was a dog shit 21-year-old. I remember.
We needed to remember to spend less than $15 a day and needed to remember to brush our teeth twice in the day.
Yep.
And I certainly wasn't going to do that for myself, but I was going to do it for my little wizard with a hat.
My little man.
Here's what I am proposing. We create a gamified version like that, but worse. Do you remember when Animal Crossing came out and that we were going through so much to make those little animals happy? Mm-hmm. They'd be shit like, oh, I'm not going to move into your town unless you have 14 lawn chairs. And then we'd have to go out and make 14 lawn chairs or whatever.
Yeah, or you have to catch X amount of fossils or fish and things.
Yeah, we were out there bending over backwards just to have the animals move in with us. And what if we could do that for a productivity app?
I love that idea because...
What if instead of us being demanded to report to one person of the tiny dude in my app that has a funny hat, I was instead having to do it for 18 we'll get up to 18, but at first 3 or 4 characters. Much like how in Destiny I do my weeklies so that Zavala is proud of me, I would need to sit down and do all of my job tasks because then my job's mascot would like me and give me a fun little trophy.
See, it's so fucked up that you mentioned this because that is how my work is. So there's an actual app out there called Asana. And Asana is a task management system that has points values tied to them. So I am given by either my immediate manager or any other managers in the company, I could be given tasks that have assigned point values to them depending on how important those tasks are. So I literally have weekly tasks that I need to achieve that if our company doesn't get to a certain point value in its entirety, we all don't get bonuses at the end of the year. So this is a thing that exists. I hope you know.
And you know what? I think that your
quantify
job,
how fucking productive we are.
I think your job isn't going far enough because you know what the problem is? They're relying on points. Mm-hmm. You know what they're not relying on yet?
What?
Plot lines. Characters, unlockables, outfits, tiny hats, big hats.
Wait, hold on, AJ. What if, holy shit, this is an experience that you buy into. This is a company you can start working at. But when you start working at this company, you aren't even given a fucking desk. You are not allowed to pick what you wear to work. You have to pick like some sort of gray jumpsuit, and you got to be like how you were at 40 Motors, where you just had to have a laptop on your lap for like 3 months before you actually got a workstation. And depending on how you do these tasks, you earn certain things. Oh, you get a chair now. Oh, you get a desk now. You can now pick what you want to wear to work.
You unlock access to a desk.
Yes.
You unlock access to casual Fridays where you don't have to wear your jumpsuit.
You earn the right to say you can put this on your LinkedIn profile. You earn the right to snacks in the company.
But again, this is not your boss or your employer giving you these little sign-offs of saying like, oh, congratulations. Mm-hmm. Every workplace will have their own mascot that they get to upload into their version of this app, which we can call Condusive.
Condusive. Ooh, God, what is so evil about that word? Is it just because it's so like methodical and
it just feels so mechanical? It feels so inhuman.
This is not conducive.
It's such an inhuman way to say like good or bad for the workplace.
You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you've seen this.
It feels like double speak. You know what I mean? Like people like created the word like what's it called when an innocent person gets hurt in an accident from the military?
Casualty?
Yeah, casualty is a good word.
It feels like a technical term to like that lacks humanity. Feels
yes.
like it's like it feels like you're turning it into a statistic rather than a tragedy. Do you know what this reminds me of so much? Like, if you get a chance to watch this at home, dear listener, there's this interview with this famous filmmaker called Werner Herzog, and he kind of talks in that clinical. Oh, actually, wait a second. I know a way to say this. Have you seen Mandalorian? He's the guy that says, "Bring me the baby." I feel like that's more the cultural zeitgeist than be explaining his weird movies from the 1970s. He's getting interviewed on this TV show, and then he just gets shot. He literally gets shot, and he's bleeding, and he pulls up his shirt, and the interviewer's like, "Oh my God, you've been shot. You're bleeding," and he's like, "It is not considerable," and he just goes back to the interview, and just that has that same lilt to it. It's just not considerable. Feels very much it's not conducive to me. Okay, so because
the other thing that I want to lean into with this is also the idea of the bird. You know, the Duolingo bird that everyone was like,
what?
"Yeah, we love the Duolingo bird. If I don't do enough Spanish lessons, he's gonna hunt me down in a back alley and kick the shit out of me."
He's gonna bust
But I do
your
love the
knees.
bird very dearly. We can latch onto that. It's the mascotification of our supervisors.
This feels like a game that would definitely explode in Japan, because I feel like I've mentioned it to you before, but one thing that has always fascinated me is Japanese companies love mascots for some reason. Companies that
that's because everybody loves mascots. America is behind the times. Are you telling me that you wouldn't like working at Deity more if you didn't have a little mascot that was like a little microphone with arms and legs and a big smile?
You jest, but I approached my bosses about like trying to come up like, hey, what if Deity had like, I don't know, a bat as a mascot? Poor choice. Bats aren't cute, as it turns out, to most people. They're cute to me, not to my bosses.
And then your boss slapped you out of the room.
Yeah, basically. But you're right. Everybody loves mascots.
This is going to take wind here because people love productivity and people love watching their numbers go up and people love getting plot lines. And they're going to love the idea that if they do 4 more hours of work every week, they can unlock the little raccoon to hang out on their desktop with them. That's right. Your desktop your screen will have a little village along the bottom. And as you unlock new little guys, they'll put up little houses and live around on the bottom of your laptop screen.
I love that. That's cute. And I have a real question I want to figure out first. Is this something that is this a game or is this an experience?
It's an experience that we say is a game. We say it's gamified because there will be points and unlockables given.
So this is a physical building you go into and you work there. This is
a program that is put onto your work machine. That way your employers can also use it to spy on you.
Okay, I'm a
little bit...
Think
of this less like a video game or an experience and more like an entire operating system. This is the new Windows. New Windows.
I'm confused. I kind of don't know where you're getting with that, because I was under the impression that, at least to me, this reminds me a lot of like how Neon Wolf does Omega Mart, where it's a physical building that you can go into and explore. And
I love that. And I love that sounds fun and nice. What I am proposing, Blake, is a productivity app that, you know how like we were talking about Habitica and Asana was the app that you're using?
Asana, yeah.
Asana. Now imagine if Habitica and Asana had a baby, but that baby was with corporate.
Okay.
That is what I'm pitching. I'm pitching an operating system that feels and brings you the good time points that Habitica does, but it's a tool for your boss to supervise you and watch every move that you make.
And it's coded.
And it's the same app that we use for our work tools and our personal tools.
And it is hidden in these like goals and prizes that you think you're like, oh, if I do this, I'm advancing in the company. But it's like just kind of this very evil way of convincing
if I
you to
do
just
this,
interact with it more.
I improve the company, but I also get a little raccoon to tell me that I did a good job. And so I think that I'm going to do overtime, not for my boss's approval, not because it's good for the company, but because I want Zavala to say I was a good guy.
Okay, so that's okay, that cracked it for me. So where I think this needs some stank is the way we've designed it thus far is that the things you are earning points for towards those prizes are things that are mandatory. I think you need to get in on the addicts of games like this, where it's the optional shit. If you look at Destiny, the main story stuff is the mandatory things. All of the side light leveling and grinding, that's all optional, but that's where people spend the bulk of their time. AJ, what if we put on our little task manager on what was the name we chose for it? Condusive. If we put, there are those must-do tasks that they do gain points for, but there are a bunch of optional tasks on there that can help them get a little bit ahead in maybe a promotion. Maybe they want to do some overtime to collect a little bit extra points. The boss is just
able to list up all sorts of little dog shit tasks that they don't want to do.
Yes, and they pawn it off, and the person's like, oh, I'll get 20 points for doing that. Every hour I stay overtime, I'll just, I'll rack up some points. You know what? If I do this, I get a little snack from the vending machine. So you get into that instant gratification thing where it's like, oh, I can do this easy task. I can pump this out. And then bam, you get some Tic Tacs maybe not Tic Tacs. You get some lifesavers. Those
Tic Tacs are great. Yeah, no, I love this.
I mean, I love Tic Tacs, but I don't think I've ever seen them in a vending machine.
If I do an extra hour of work, that's right, I'll get a free Snickers. And it's like, that's bad math. Yeah. That doesn't track. If I do an extra hour of work off the clock, I will get a free Snickers.
But you're also, this is a company that operates off of salary. So that you don't get paid hourly here and you're exempt. So it's like you start at like minimum wage at this company.
And get this, we're getting around script laws because it's not us giving out, it's not the company giving out these points. It's Tony Tiger, not Tony the Tiger. Tony Tiger.
Send all what's it called? Complaints and misgrievances to Tony the Tiger. All right. I want to figure out who our mascot is, or do we want to put a pin in it and try one other game?
Let's try another game.
Okay. This comes to us on Twitter from Caleb Martin at Taylor's version at Is This a Theus? A Toys to Life game that recognizes anything you put on the portal. Imagine Skylanders, but it's literally anything on your desk. It will scan it and can toss it in. And this is more possible than one would think. There's this new, and this is something that we could do right fucking now. Because did you know that iPhone 13s have multiple cameras in them that allow you to scan objects into three-dimensional downloadable STLs? Did you know that? Does it completely?
What's an STL?
STL is like a standard file format for 3D models. So okay. I could literally take my phone and scan my keyboard, and it'll generate a 3D model for me that I can then 3D print or bring into Unreal Engine, bring into Blender, bring into 3ds Max or any other like 3D modeling program. I want to
this actually does make sense, but my touchstone is Nathan Fielder's new TV show, The Rehearsal.
Nathan Fielder from Nathan For You has a new TV show?
Yeah, it's called The Rehearsal. Blake, what? It is the most buck wild shit ever. It is watching a man destroy himself with the tools that he would have used to entice other people. No joke. One of the episodes where the series has been left off most recently, I think that he is just committed himself to his own 3-month project that he built for a different person.
Wait, hold on. How is this different from Nathan For You?
So Nathan For You has the premise of like, one, Comedy Central is doing it, so you understand that it's all for jokes and ha-has, and it's innocent.
Yeah.
2, Nathan Fielder has the premise of I'm doing this to help a business. The Rehearsal is the idea of a man wants to see how deeply you can rehearse an activity or confession with somebody and rehearse life so that you are prepared for it. The first episode, he enters a man's room and he starts talking to him and he says, I have to reveal this to you. I have hired an actor to play you. I sent people in here to 3D scan this room, and I have rehearsed every possible way that this conversation can play out. Would you be interested in doing this same format so that you can make a confession to one of your friends for a lie that you've been telling for 12 years?
What?
Yes. It is the most wild shit.
I don't understand.
It's on HBO. Everybody should go watch The Rehearsal. Well, maybe you shouldn't watch The Rehearsal. The Rehearsal is a show that is out there that I am so haunted and curious about, and I recommend it to you, Blake, because you understand the idea. I
love shit like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. God, I'm as soon as we're done recording,
it also reaches moments where it feels like a deconstruction of his own work, because there was a moment where like one of the characters was like, oh, he had an actress portraying a confession he was going to give to a woman, and the actor portraying the woman had an outburst where she was like, oh, is this all I am to you? Am I like the funny joke at the end of the day? Which
shit,
is a deconstruction of the style of content that Nathan Fielder does.
Oh my God, I love.
For those that don't know, Nathan Fielder's show is the idea that he brings people on around him and he plays a character while he interacts with these people.
Socially awkward.
While he's playing that character, he's awkward and weird and coerces the people that he's talking with to say something out of pocket, out of left field, or borderline inappropriate. That is what he is doing at the core of it.
God, he's a fucking genius.
Taking the time during his show to dissect whether or not that is okay, even for a moment, is such a curious choice to come out of it. Again, I do like Nathan For You. It is impossible not to watch it without having at least the base understanding that what he is doing is somewhat manipulative to the people involved.
I mean, yeah, but like it's reality TV too, and it's the core of it is reality TV.
Yeah,
like
I'm not saying that it's something that shouldn't be consumed. I'm just saying that like that may not sit well with everybody, and I've talked to people that it doesn't sit well with, which is totally
like
fair.
The idea of being like fooled or having the wool pulled over your eyes for the laughs of everybody watching.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Understandably, yeah, I get that. If you're not into that, go ahead and.
However, I am not bothered by it. Well, I am bothered by it, but to a level that I'm okay watching hours worth of this man's TV show.
Well, I'm so fascinated. Well, the last thing I want to say on Nathan For You, and why I'm not surprised that they went into that deconstruction state with this show is Nathan For You ended on this just natural like. Normally Nathan For You, the
2-hour-long documentary episode.
Normally Nathan For You is like a 22-minute like show, just that is a highlight reel of all the crazy shit that goes wrong, him and his funny business ideas and all of the natural things that happen out of that. The series finale ended on this just 2-hour documentary of one of his business things leading down this one man's like personal life journey and trying to reconnect with an old flame from like, what was it, 50 years prior? And it was just one of the it was one of the most raw, real things I've ever seen, and it was so cool to see see a person in Nathan's like position of like, I'm here to entertain people. You see their mind shift from, oh, I'm not a personality anymore. There's a story going on that is much more important than any bullshit I could fabricate. So he's like a person that understands how to be on, but also understands when a naturally occurring story is more valuable. I'm fast. I did not know he had a new show going on. Okay, what was the submission again? Oh my God, I totally.
It was your submission.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. It was from Caleb Martin, a Toys to Life game that recognizes anything you put on the portal. So
right,
you can
and that's
3D
how I knew what the 3D scanning on mobiles was, because that was used in Nathan Fielder's new show, The Rehearsal.
Yes.
Streaming now on HBO. I'm not sponsored, but HBO, get out me.
How can we... Okay, one other thing that's really big in the community of 3D is that there are a bunch of like free access 3D sites. So could we do some sort of thing where we build a Pokemon Go style game that is all about scanning shit that you are then trying to turn into a profit? So you have some marketplace that is only... that you are a 3D object seller running their own little shop.
Already what like the 3D marketplace is just people like scanning things and trying to sell it online?
I think, see, the scanning isn't good enough yet out of the box. Like, you have to do, because the way it works is it bounce light off of the object you are scanning. So if it is in contact with anything, or if the shadows are hitting it in a weird way, it will think there's more to the object than what is actually there. So you have to go in and do a lot of cleanup. That I don't see a lot of people selling those. That's still very much in the experimental phase. I do see people like that actually have 3D modeling skills selling their stuff on like Turbo Squid and stuff. But I want to gamify it. I would love to do some sort of fantastical shop manager simulation where all of the wares in your store are things you've scanned around your area or your town. What fascinates me about that is you will go to everybody's store will be completely unique. Every item will be completely unique because somebody in the Midwest in their small town that only 1,000 people live in. They go and scan one like rusted sign on a off-turn street that only them and the 999 other people in that town know of, and I can like buy
I
that.
love
and
this.
I can collect
It's kind of like Second Life, except you're only able to put in and create the things that you could go over and scan.
Yes.
So less of Second Life and more like 1.5 Life.
Now
it's a digital recreation of all the things that you could actually see in the real world, and nothing special beyond that.
So, no, I think we can go a layer deeper in this. One, what are the items used for? And two, what happens after you buy them? Do you unlock the geocode so you can find out where it's from in real life and maybe
I'm going to argue that you cannot purchase the item, you can only purchase the information.
Purchase the information?
So you said, you buy the geocode and you'll know where it's at in the real world, but that does not give you the asset to place anywhere in your own little like town that you're recreating with your 3D scans. I want you to be very limited about what you have. Now, if you purchase the geocode and you go out and you scan it yourself, then you can add it to your digital land.
I disagree.
I want your hands to be tied. I want it to be limited. Again, I don't want people to just be able to buy anything they want on the internet. Otherwise, we're getting Second Life.
No,
and I see your cool thing, and I want that, so I buy it from you.
No.
I want to see your cool thing and think to myself, I must go on a great journey so that I can have that cool thing in my digital land.
I can pitch it to you in a way that has this limitation.
Okay.
An item, because it is geotagged, that item in that geotag can only be scanned once. So there is only one instance of that scanned item in the entire game and exists. So you can buy it and you can add an item that you bought at somebody else's like marketplace and you add it to your little town that you're designing. That's the only one. That leans into that idea of why NFTs were so cool when they were first brought up. It's like, oh, it's a unique item. So if I buy it, I'm the only one that has it, but it doesn't have all the bullshit tied to NFTs. I think the limited supply and the uniqueness of each item is going to be what is super fascinating about it.
Yeah, but I just worry it doesn't have enough stink to it.
Okay, so what can we do to add some stink? Is there an element of...
What do you do with these 3D scans and this digital marketplace?
I think it's I don't know if it is. I guess when I initially came up with the idea, I didn't think of it as having stink as so much as like, I feel like this would appease. I don't know how I got to this point, but this feels like I can picture so many people having their own little Studio Ghibli style shop where they're just selling all of their little wares and little trinkets that they found or scans, and it's just like they maybe become a personality, or they design their little town to reflect things.
What's to keep everybody from having the same scan of a different soda can?
Well, I mean, I guess that's it. I guess some things are super common. Maybe when you're scanning something, it doesn't detect brands. Like, you can't scan a Coca-Cola can. You can only scan, like, an aluminum can.
And again, what do I do once I've purchased one of these little 3D models?
I mean, could we go? Do you think there would be?
What's
God,
the game?
I think it's you design your little town. And picture this is you are designing your little town with like a literal worldwide amount of items from across the globe. You can have a fire hydrant that was from Japan and the little shack hut from like from Tennessee. You can there's just so much stuff, but I agree with you. Let's try and toss some stank on it to where it's like, okay, this is a cool concept, but it is also dangerous to play. And I think, is there some sort
now,
of
dangerous?
Is there like a raid mechanic? Is there a way we can play into this? You know what? Okay. I have an idea.
Okay, hit me with it.
So
we're treading water right now.
So, for you to buy items in the game, you need to sell items. That is how currency is developed.
That is how currency works.
But I'm just explaining it really basic as we get more complex with it. So, for this game to work, you have to scan things and sell them or sell them away. The moment you... Oh, no, wait, how would this work? The stink I was thinking is like, if somebody gets the geocode information for an item in your house, if they go scan it, they can steal it from you. So scan and steal. So it's like, oh, that's a really cool sign. Where is it? Oh, oh my God, that's like right down the road from my house. And that would really
throw them for a loop because they could try to break into my home and steal my plantain chips, Himalayan sea salt, pink flavored. But and they might be able to steal those chips, but I would still have the 3D scan that I created of these chips.
Do you think I love it as a game, as if it's just like you just buy and sell and trade.
It's not
and
so
it doesn't
much
have
of a game so much as it is having all of the geotag information of a photograph just for 3D models.
Okay, one thing we didn't talk about is depicting how much your stuff is worth. All like Moonlighter is figuring out, okay, what is the ideal, or Fallout 76. It's like you pick how much you want to sell your this one scan worth. It's worth X amount of NFT tokens. There's some bullshit non-fungible tokens. I just realized that. I like it. I don't know if there's a game, and I think we should decide on our nug. We got to do a little bit of a short episode.
I think we should decide on our nug, and I think it's Condusive.
Condusive is it. All right. So one thing I wanted to figure out with Condusive is, what is our mascot for our company that we are having people or have for this program we are developing.
We have to have a library of our own characters because again everybody's going to bring in their own mascot for all of their workplaces. We need to have a band of like kind of generic characters for people to use. Because I think that it's important, right? Like if Discord signs on, I want them to be able to have Wumpus assign work and labor
they can plug
to
it
their
in.
employees.
Okay.
If Disney works for us, I want them to be able to use their rogues gallery of mascot characters. But we need to decide on the flavor of what the base characters are going to be. There will be a band of characters that are like our mascots in our little town. Now, of course, we could do animals, but everybody does animals. So what if we did little anthropomorphized office tools?
Oh, like Clippy, basically.
Like Clippy.
Yeah. I mean, Clippy was pretty big for a while. I kind of like the route of doing something that is not at all related to the original material. Like, that's why I think Joe Camel was such a big hit as a mascot, because he was like, why is this camel smoking cigarettes? I don't think camels are anywhere near where tobacco is grown.
So then what if we did this? We did a surplus of 7 different ferrets, because a group of ferrets is called a business.
What? You're shitting me. No.
Nope.
Did our dear friend that I'm not going to say her name, did she tell you that?
You can Google it, bud. A group of ferrets is called a business.
Oh, no, I believe you. I hear that and I feel like it's a very specific one of our friend's facts.
Yeah, the friend of ours that has a business of ferrets. Yeah, she would know.
God, I love them. They're so cute. Fucking That's so funny to me. Business. Okay, so it's a. Okay, but here I'll do you one better. So it is a group of ferrets.
How can it get better than a business of ferrets?
It is a group of ferrets that all have different outfits depending on what area of business they are representing. So a manufacturing ferret is going to have maybe a hard hat and a filing board. They look super cute under their hat's too big and it keeps sliding down on their nose when they're talking to you.
Yes, I love the idea of us having different outfits planned out for different types of companies that would work with us.
Yes. So this is let's look at it this way. When a business buys this app, these are the ferrets that ship with it. So if they don't have a mascot as a company, well, guess what? They'll just be
don't sweat it. We have a business of ferrets that you can use, and this business of ferrets will be the ones assigning work tasks, posting up to the job board. You know what I mean? Like allegedly, right? Like the supervisor will say, "Here's all the tasks that we don't want to do right now." But then, like in the fiction of the app that people will have to be using to work from, they'll see it and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, Ferdinand the ferret says that there's all these tasks up, so I guess I'll just bang a couple of these out really quick."
I love that. If it does, when you sign into this, are you given like a ferret avatar? Because it's got to be cute to use. Because it's like, if it's not cute on the surface, you're going to immediately get how hostile this app is and how much it's trying to get you addicted. You know? And maybe that's one of the other things you earn is like you earn stuff to spruce up your icon in this app thing. It's like anytime you send out a text, guess what? It's there's a little gif of doves that floats off of it anytime you post a text. Or the first text
anytime
of every
you post something, every time you send a message, every time you are rewarded a new work task thing, like, hey, congratulations, you're allowed to wear casual shoes to the office now.
Is there a world where the points values that you accrue, is that how you get promotions? But is it like if you have more points than your boss,
it's certainly
you become
a thing
their
that
boss?
You could use to bid for a promotion.
Oh, you can bid for oh, that's fucked up. Where does that money go after it's gone? It just disappears.
Honestly, more than anything, the point lists are just there so that people feel like, I have this many points. That's how you can tell how dedicated I am.
Well, but you also have to spend it. People are willing to be
like, I want this promotion so bad, I'm willing to risk my points that show how good I am for the company. Thereby earning me the promotion, but then on all of the lists, it looks like I care about the company less.
God, okay.
And that's going to be a problem whenever there's a list feature or like a list of company employees come up.
Do you think this is how that one Black Mirror episode started? Like that society, the one where he was like on the exercise bike at accruing points, I guess, and then he gets
a similar feel, but ours is of course nowhere near as evil. And at the very least, it's so way cuter.
Ours is way cuter and way evil. And I mean, I think ours is pretty evil. That one's like. That one, you can directly see.
That one's like a boring evil, you know what I mean? Like, it's not cute and fun like
that was
ours.
A British evil. Ours is a Western American evil. Very different.
Yeah, because ours looks like it could have come from the opposite end of people wanting to be like, I just want to make sure our work-life balance is like a little bit cuter. And like our app was first and foremost set up to destroy the work-life balance.
Love it.
Secondarily was set up to be cute. That's the other thing is personal tasks and personal goals can also go up on the boards for yourself so that you can use that to track your personal projects and life goals.
Yes.
But supervisors and other employees will be able to look at your computer at all times and see what sort of tasks you are posting up for yourself.
Yeah, I think tasks for yourself need to be approved, or else you're just gonna game the system on points.
Yes, they need to be approved. You gotta submit. Even worse. So, if I tell my employer, "Hey, you may have noticed that I put brushing teeth on there. I just need it so that I'm better about brushing my teeth," and the boss has to be like, "Well, I don't know if that's true. How did your last dental checkup go?" And then you have to give them your dental record and be like, "No, I really do have a problem with getting cavities. Can I please put this on here?" And he's gonna be like, "Fine, but don't tell anyone else, because I'll know."
Okay. I think that's very minimal, but I see. I like it. I like where that's going. Okay, so we figured out our mascots. We figured out how this game works.
We figured out our name.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think
that's a good game.
It's
game's a strong word for it. Gamified work.
It's
tool.
gamified. Oh, one last addendum I want to make to it. One patch note I want to make to it. Like how certain MMOs have rush hours where it's like if you do this activity during a certain period of time, you get more points for it.
Yes.
It's like Madness Weekend, that kind of stuff. If you do the optional tasks during off hours, you get twice the points. So you have you motivate people to do tasks when they're not on the clock at work. So it's like, oh, you are on the clock and you have to do things, but guess what? The moment you're off the clock,
but you
you're
chose
still
to
working.
Do that. We're not giving you overtime.
Yeah, we're not giving you overtime. You chose to get these points. You chose because you really had to have that raccoon gif given you, cheering you on at the top of every hour of every day. You needed it. That's a game.
And that's on you. That's a game. That's Condusive.
Is there anything we could toss on the end of this? Like
we could try to think of a catchphrase for Condusive.
Yeah, I want to see what Asana's
Might I propose to you this? Condusive, because work should be fun.
Ooh, damn, you hit it right on the head. Wow, AJ, congrats.
Thanks.
Smart ass man. Okay, work. Condusive, because work should be fun. All right, let's go to patch notes. Hey everybody, welcome to Patch Notes. Before you click away, click another button for us. Go ahead and click that follow button on Spotify. We want to reach 1,000. We're already at 700. We're so fucking close. There's so many people that listen to the show that aren't following, and we would adore you for clicking that follow button.
What are you doing not following us? I use Spotify. It's way easier if you just follow us. It makes finding us later so much easier for you. This is a gift for you, honestly.
I like that. Put that follow button on your assigned tasks, and you'll get 10 more points to add it to your docket. How about that?
Ooh, little Condusive bonus.
Oh, fuck. I feel like an evil overlord.
That's going to be where we leave the show this week. As always, our intro and outro is Cheap Shop by Anamanaguchi, an excellent song from an excellent band for an excellent game. I've been one of your hosts, AJ Hart.
And I have been your other host, Blake Rea.
This has been Spiritual Successor, and these are cool games
that should not be made.